take your leg here and pointing down and going in and up and out, around. Quickly just making an interjection here, the toes will point down when you go down and up when you go up. So we'll go again, in. As you're going up, point the toes up to the ceiling. As you're going out, keep the toes up to the ceiling until you go all the way down. And then we'll reverse the direction. Out. As it goes up. In. As it goes down. Really try to get as big of a circle as you can and try to like squeeze out the muscles of the ankle. I really like this point because for a very long time I did ankle cars without really using the muscles of my lower leg, and that's really the point here. So not only just moving the joint through its full range of motion, but use the front of your shin, use your calf muscle. Okay, we're switching to the other side. As you go in, and up. As you go out and down. As you go back in up, going out and down, and then we'll reverse it. Down and out, up and out, up and in, as it's going down, yep, last time, out, up, up and in, and down. Transitioning to an ankle stretch, you can either sit on your heel, like your left butt cheek touching your heel, or you can be in like a half kneeling lunge position with your right foot forward and your hands on the floor, or they could even touch like a stool or something. In the beginning here, you're just going to rock back and forth with your heel coming up and then back down, nice and easy, 3 or 4 times. Just ignore me speaking to everyone who I was teaching live. I'm just doing this voiceover now. And then once you've done that a few times, you're going to hang out here with your heel still on the floor, your heel touching the floor, and your toes on the ground. And you're just going to relax into it for a couple of breaths. And then you're going to start to push the forefoot, the ball of the foot, the toes down into the floor. The heel stays there, but you're pushing down the foot almost like you're pushing down on a gas pedal. And as you push down, sort of ramp up the tension a bit, push down a little bit harder, and then relax and see if your knee wants to go any further past your toes. Just take another breath or two here. And this can be quite intense, so go easy with yourself. You do it one more time. Push down, a fair amount. Feel that calf engage. Push. And then relax and see if your knee goes a little bit further forward. And we'll transition to the left side. And you'll be going back and forth, heel down and up, off the floor, 3 or 4 times. Easing into it. And then same thing. So you're going to keep the heel down, keep the toes down, and feel like you're pushing the foot down into the floor. Try to engage the calf muscle, which is the muscle that pushes the toes and the ball of the foot down. And try to push down pretty hard, or, an appropriate amount of hardness. And then relax a bit and let the knee go a little bit further forward. And relax there, and you'll do that one more time. So you're going to push down, really try to drive that foot down, step on the gas, push a little bit harder, and then relaxing and seeing if the knee wants to go any further past the toes, breathing here for a moment. Okay, so we're going to come down here into a bear sit. Very often people set this up too narrow, so make sure your heels are like twice as wide as your shoulders. Hands can be on the ground, hand can come in front in the in-between of the thigh, and just letting the knee come down, shifting forward, shifting a bit forward, getting into a light stretch over that right leg, and then going back the other way. So knee lifting up, and going over to the other side. Of course, if you want to take this a little bit slower than I'm going at, you can. We will go slower in a moment, but right now just sort of, easing into it. Just like feeling the stretch for a moment and then coming out of it. Just do that a couple of times, shifting in between. And see if you can breathe as you go. I know my feet are cut off in this angle, but the heels do not move from where you put them in that initial legs pretty wide position. So even though my legs are moving, the heels basically stay on the floor and pivot where they are. You're gonna meet me back center here for the next part of this. As your center, start to drive your right knee down into the floor. And you'll turn your body, your left butt will come off of the floor, but keep that left knee driving open as your right knee comes down to the ground. Keep on shifting, and slowly let the left knee come down to the floor. And then you're gonna shift over your right leg. Try to keep your spine straight as you pull yourself over your right thigh. And just hang out there and breathe. Trying to keep straightness through the spine. So it's not necessarily about getting the chest to the thigh, it's about keeping the spine straight and feeling tension through the outer part of the hip. Okay, and then coming out of that, we're going to just shift straight back. So you're just going to lean back, and then as you lean back, start to rotate your torso to the left so that you can feel some tension and some work in the outer left hip. And try to breathe as you do it. So as you're twisting here to the left, you're really trying to get your hip, your left hip, into internal rotation, and in that position, your butt may not touch the floor, and that's fine. You're going to come back forward into that right leg, and this time just staying pretty tall, so not leaning over. Stay pretty tall, and drive that right knee down into the ground. And see if you can drive it down so much that you lift your right ankle off of the ground, but keeping your knee on the floor. Alrighty, to be clear here, again, this is an isometric, just like the ankle exercise was earlier. So it's about engaging the muscles, not about necessarily moving a whole lot, right? So when I say try to lift your right ankle off of the floor, it's depending on how upright you are, you're not going to be able to lift your ankle off of the ground. So if you were to lean more over onto your right side, even if you were to go over onto your right forearm, like leaning over on that side, you would probably be able to lift off the right ankle. But because we're a little bit more upright here, I'm trying to get you to feel what muscles in the hip and the inner thigh and the groin would need to work in order to externally rotate the right leg and lift your right ankle off of the floor. So as you do this, you're pushing down your right knee, pushing down pretty hard, and then that's the first part of the isometric, and the second part is lifting the ankle up and off of the ground. So pushing down hard for like 3 breaths, push down hard, 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 and then pull the right ankle off of the floor. And again, ignore the fun we were having talking about ways to get the right ankle off of the floor that were, as I would say, compensating, or some would say, cheating. Don't cheat. Use your muscles. Relax out of it. Okay. Left knee's going to drive open. I'm going to go over to the other side. Left knee's going down to the floor. So this one is just about relaxing forward, keeping the spine straight, but not isometrically pushing or pulling here. So it's just chilling, relaxing down. Who knows what I was saying? Probably not all that important. Now I'm picking something off my ankle. I wonder what it was. Somebody's making me laugh. Again, hang out here. Just try to relax and breathe into the stretch. We'll do the isometric in a moment after we do the internal rotation stretch for your left leg. Oh, and we have to do this one first. So rotate and turn towards the right leg to feel that stretch through the right hip. Can remember how to say have a good meal in Hebrew. I can't. Was that the same conversation we had 5 months ago? 3 months ago? Mashlom hem. That's as far as I can get. Alright, come back forward. Clearly I'm very focused today. Alright, here we go. Push the left knee down into the floor. Try to lift your left ankle. Not just by curling the toes off the floor. Not just by, it's not what it's about. It's about your hip, y'all. Use your hip to lift your ankle. It's not gonna lift. Another way to say this is that when you push the knee down into the floor, you should feel that your butt or your outer hip is what's doing the pushing down. And when you try to pull the ankle off of the ground, you should feel the inner thigh, the inner groin, doing the work to try to lift the ankle up, which is really just another way to say rotate the thigh, rotate externally. Not just into the knee, right? But from your hip, push down. Okay. Stay in this position. Try to lift up. Squeeze the inner hip. Squeeze the inner thigh. Squeeze the quad. And relax. And maybe go a little bit further. And relax. Alrighty. I'm gonna come center. And extend both legs out to the side. Straddle. And you're gonna shift forward and back. And forward and back. Just stretch. Just stretch and chill. I didn't realize how long this was going for. So I asked someone what time it was and decided, hey, we better get a move on. We're going to end with a hip car and a spinal cat-cow, and then we're out of here. Hands and knees, starting with the butt. When you find yourself in your cow, you're going to hold the cow for, let's say, about 3 breaths. Try to sink into it or pull into it. Somebody asked a fantastic question, which was how to activate the arms and the legs here. Should I push my hands and legs apart from one another or pull them towards one another? You can do either one, but if I were going to choose one, it would be pulling them together. Okay, and then rounding into cat, taking your time as you go. Each part of the spine moving slowly as you round through your spine. Feel this stretch. Feel your abs work to round and crunch your abs, right? Like a spinal crunch to round further. Try to use your legs here as well. And this would be the opposite, pushing apart. Getting deeper each breath. Okay. Hip car, knee goes in. Knees going out. Internally rotating. Hamstring. Keep it up. Now we didn't do any hip extension, so this is your only shot for hip extension this morning. Drive the knee away from the ground hard as you can. Use your butt. Don't let your spine arch. Drive up, drive up, drive up. 3. Drive up. 2. Drive up. 1. Take it out to the side. Externally rotate. And in. And shake it off. Whoa. Okay. Last time. Here we go. He's going into the chest. Knees going out to the side. Knees internally rotating. Leg is circling back. Once you get back there, drive the heel to the butt. Drive the knee away from the floor. Squeeze up for 3. Keep the spine rounded for 2. Use your abs, squeeze your butt. Lift it up and take it out to the side. Externally rotate. Into the chest. And down. Okay. Just gonna take 5 breaths together here. Feel your body. Feel your breath. Slowly inhaling. And very slowly exhaling.
and you're going to count somewhere between 3 to 5 more of those. See if you can stay with your breath. Keep on counting. Nice and slow.